It makes, have I told you that the kind of a short little story about, who here does, who plays a musical instrument? There are some people in the world who are fortunate enough to play musical instruments for a living, right? Who here plays any form of sport? Sport, play some form of sport. Any golf, tennis, basketball, football. Now, there are people in the world who get to do that for a living. So some of us have it for a hobby. Other people do it for a living. Some people draw for a hobby, right? And others get to draw for a living. Have I told you all this? Is this familiar? No. Okay. No one does accounting for a hobby.
My dad does.
They're really unusual people. Accounting it doesn't have the same level of fun, right? That playing music, playing sports, drawing, creating, teaching. Doing accounting isn't as fun, as inherently rewarding and satisfying as some of those other activities. And so most people do it primarily because it's a good living. I mean, I did it because it's a good living and because I was reasonably good at it. Because not everybody can be an accountant. Okay? And so that's a bit of a digression, but the point is you self-selected into a more difficult than average field of study. I mean, if you just want a college degree and want to get out in 4 years, would you be an accounting major? No. Yeah, you could you could make a lot of other choices that were a lot easier, right? You could spend more time, sleeping or playing or just doing whatever it is that you wanted to do. But this one's more challenging, and you did it because you expect to make more money doing this, presumably. I'm guessing for most of you. And that is actually the free market, the invisible hand, working, right? More capable individuals are choosing a more demanding career because the rewards, the financial rewards, are greater than some of your other choices. That is the invisible hand at work. Don't know if you thought about it like that before, but that is what's going on right here in this very classroom. How exciting. Right, Nathan? Isn't that exciting? So, he's the man behind the notion of the invisible hand of the market, that individual, but the thing is you are all behaving selfishly. Right? You want to make more money. That's kind of a selfish thought. And you are also behaving selfishly in the sense that to be successful in this career, to get a job in this career, very often you need a good GPA. And so you're being selfish, you want to make money, so what do? You go out and work harder than you would otherwise. And that's how everybody benefits. And that's kind of, because you're selfish, you wind up working harder than you would without the motivation of your own selfishness. And so society's going to be better off because you are working hard to not only to get an accounting degree, but once you are an accountant, and then you're going to have more money than you would have otherwise, and you're going to spend that money. And all the hundreds of thousands of accountants in the world, all spending their money, helps make a lot of people better off. How beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? He was also Adam Smith. Adam Smith was also a professor of moral philosophy at the University of Glasgow, which is why you could have shown off, you could have been the biggest show off I've ever had during this presentation. Given that you talked about him in a philosophy class, right? And so he wrote about, the thing is we think about him as the father of modern economics, or capitalism, free market economics, and that sort of thing. But he wrote about a lot more. And the thing is in the world of academics, there's a lot of silos, right? Accounting is just kind of a silo. Accounting, finance, those are little silos. But finance faculty and professionals use accounting information a lot. But for some reason, we've got these kind of creators and users in different silos within the college of business. And there's even more across campus, but he wrote about, he also wrote another very big book. He didn't write a plentitude of books. He wrote quite a bit, but he tended to write he wrote 2 or 3 big books over and over and over again. He kept editing them. But his other big book is called The Theory of Moral Sentiments. And he also lectured on legal stuff. And so his writings fall into the world of political science and philosophy and not theology, but certainly philosophy and economics. So they're very often the things he wrote about, and he wrote about them together. They're not even in the same college within a university setting. So they're not even all in the college of business. So let's take note of this right here, the man behind the invisible hand of the market, so we can all behave selfishly and benefit society. Now I want to ask the question, do you think Adam Smith viewed mankind philosophically as inherently good or inherently not good? Not good. Any goods in the house? Just to be fair? One good in the house. And a lot of abstains. I'm guessing half the class abstained. More than half the class abstained. Right, Tony? Did you abstain? I did. So what do you think, though? Good, not good. Is mankind inherently good or not good? I want you to think about it for a second, because then it's a more memorable reveal, right? If you think about it for a second, you form an opinion, and then we talk about it, then that's a little more memorable than me just kind of, Dr. Fessler's talking again. Am I supposed to be listening now,
I think he saw us as inherently neutral until given the right incentive.
But he's a debater. So he's a little different than the rest of us. He actually viewed us as naturally good, but flawed. Right? The person who knows it's wrong to lie, but still will fudge a number on something. Okay, so the person knows better, but still behaves poorly. And so, the man is naturally good, but weak. Okay? So he did, this is kind of a random thought. He was skeptical of organized religion, though you'll see why I make that statement a little bit later. But simultaneously thought the family to be society's most important moralizing institution. And so I put all these up here to, he wrote about more than just economics. Right? In fact, none of these is really an economic sort of a thing, and yet he wrote about all of these and more. So he's concerned about kind of moral types of issues, and philosophically, what is man, in addition to this notion of the invisible hand and using in the distribution of resources within society. And so, in the same manner, does he view wealth as good or bad? Well, that's the wrong way to ask the question. I'll just say here, because I'm not sure how to fish for this question right at the moment. He believed that the